Hi friends, welcome to my channel to know more. Today I am going to discuss what is the factor affecting terms of trade or international trade or reciprocal demand. First you should know what do you mean by reciprocal demand or what is reciprocal demand or who defined or who developed the reciprocal demand. J.S. Mill propounded the theory of reciprocal demand or the law of international value to explain the actual determination of equilibrium terms of trade. According to him, the equilibrium terms of trade are determined by the equation of reciprocal demand. Reciprocal demand means relative strength and elasticity of demand of the two trading countries for each other product in terms of own product. In J.S. Mill own words, the actual ratio at which goods and trade will depend upon the strength and elasticity of each country's demand for the other country's product or upon the reciprocal demand. The ratio will be the stable when the value of each country's export is just enough to pay for its own imports. Okay guys, now I am also discuss what is the basic assumptions or Mill's theory is. Generally reciprocal demand theory is Mill's theory. This theory is based on the following assumption. Full employment, first one is full employment condition, and second one is perfect competition market, and third one is free foreign trade, and fourth is free mobility of factors, and fifth one is applicability of the theory of comparative cost, and last one is two countries two commodities model. There are two conditions in reciprocal demand or Mill's theory. There are demand condition and supply condition. Change in supply condition, first one is change in supply condition. Change in supply condition as a result of cost reducing improvements in technology bring in result in terms of trade. In improvement of cloth industry of England increases the productivity that in that industry makes cloth cheaper in terms of Indian weight, and thus the term of trade in favor of India, the importer of cloth in exchange for weight. This is called the change in supply conditions. Now another is change in demand condition. Change in demand condition refers to the extent to which the better terms of trade change in depend not only the increase the production in exporting countries but also the importing country elasticity of demand for the import in terms of its export. In India, elasticity of demand for England clothes in terms of for their own weight is more elastic, then the better terms of trade will change in favor of India more than the fall of price cloth in terms of weight. If India's demand for cloth in terms of weight is unitary elastic, then the better terms of trade turn in favor of India equal to the fall in the price of cloth in terms of weight. In order to explain equilibrium terms of trade or the theory of reciprocal demand, it is very necessary to explain about reciprocal demand elasticity. Reciprocal demand elasticity is that reciprocal demand elasticity refers to the ratio of proportional change in the price of exports relative to the price of imports. Thus, elasticity of reciprocal demand can be explained ratio of percentage in the change in imports to percentage in change in price of export to the percentage in change in price of imports. Where E equal elasticity of reciprocal demand, change M equal change in quantity of imports, and change Px defined change in price of exports, and change Pm defined change in price of imports. If elasticity of demand is greater than 1, then the terms of trade will be favorable for the concerned country, then its shares of gain will be larger. If elasticity of demand less than 1, then terms of trade will be concerned country of share gain will be relatively less. If elasticity equal 1, then the gain from trade will be equally distributed between the two countries. So, next point is offer curve approach. What is offer curve approach? The determination of equilibrium terms of trade can be graphically illustrated with the help of offer curve, a geometrical technique developed by Marshall. The offer curve, the typical demand curve, it shows that the demand of commodity imports and the supply of commodity export, that is, in the given diagram, Indian weight is measured along with OI x-axis and English cloth is measured along with OY axis. OI is India's offer curve indicating Indian weight in terms of English cloth, and OE is the England offer curve indicating in terms of England cloth in terms of Indian weight, and also India's offer curve indicating India's demand for cloth in terms of England's weight or Indian weight. It represents the quantities of weight which India is willingly to offer exchange for English cloth. As the quantity of cloth increases, India will be offering lesser or lesser amount of weight exchange for cloth. For example, in exchange of weight, India is willingly to offer OE weight. Similarly, OE is England's offer curve of cloth weight representing the England's demand for Indian weight. For example, England is willingly to offer CW label of cloth exchange for OW weight. T is the equilibrium point where the TP is cloth is exchanged for OP weight. Here the typical demand are equal. Line OT shows the equilibrium terms of trade where the reciprocal demands conditions is fulfilled. Now we are going to discuss what is the effects of change in supply and change in demand. Effect of change in supply. As a result, the cost of reducing improvement in cloth industry of England was offering CW cloth of OW weight. The terms of trade changes the favor of India. As a result, this improvement. Effect of change in demand. The extent to change in terms of trade will depend upon the slope of India's offer curve. Positively sloping India's offer curve after the point of T, that is Ti, represent the India's more elastic demand for the cloth in terms of weight and makes the terms of trade in favor of India more than the fall of in cloths price in terms of weight. If India's offer curve is vertical straight line after the point of T, that is TID, it shows the unitary classic demand for cloth in terms of weight and in terms of trade will change the favor of India equal to the fall of in cloth. The price in terms of weight if India offer curve is backward sloping after the point of T, that is T12, then the terms of trade will change in favor of India more than the fall in price of cloth relative to weight.